Hello guys and welcome back. Hope you're all doing well this week. In today's video it's going to be a very different kind of scape. So right now we're mid-October and we're really going into this Halloween, fall, winter situation, right? And I've actually watched a film that's inspired this build. So the film is called Sleepy Hollow and it's from Tim Burton. So to make it really short, because we're not going to go into a whole thing about this film, it's like the story of the Headless Horseman, but it's not really about that story. It's more about the kind of vibe and ambience of the film. So it's really these very dark, twisted forests. And in the film, there's actually a tree. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, that would be a great idea for a scape. So that's what we're going to be doing today. The hardscape I'm going to be using for this build. So this is Malaysian Driftwood. And you can see that these pieces are absolutely amazing. Like, take a look at this. Like, they're twisted. And this is exactly the kind of vibe that I want to give to the scape. I'm also going to be using a few pieces of Seiryu Stone. This hardscape is actually from a small owned Californian based company that sells premium hardscape. So in no way, shape or form am I affiliated with them. I have left the link in the description where I got this wood from, because it's absolutely amazing. They only sell premium hardscape. So if you guys are interested in taking a look, it is well worth it. Something I also love about their website is what you see is what you get. A lot of websites, you can buy bundles of wood, but you can't actively see or choose what you're getting. So every picture is actually the piece of wood you will receive, and they have some very, very interesting pieces. So yeah, it's worth a look. When I mean I'm not affiliated with them, it means I'm not actively making any money on anything you purchase on their website, because sometimes people are confused about what affiliated means. So I am in no means making any money whatsoever. This is just if you want some amazing hardscape. Let's get started. The idea for this tank is to create the tree kind of a little bit off center in this tank, and I don't want to plant it too much. So I have a very minimal selection of plants because the hardscape it's beautiful and I don't want to completely cover it or overplant the tank. The central element is just going to be this tree. So this tank is going to be for my betta fish that I've had for 2 years now, and he's getting old. So I'd like to moving him into a smaller tank as he is swimming a lot less, and just, you know, a very dim lit tank where he can chill out for the time that is left for him. In the back section, I don't know if I'm going to plant stems yet. I haven't decided, but I want to have the option to do so. So I'm going to be adding a very small amount of aqua soil in the very back, and I'm going to cap it with a coarse sand. So again, aqua soil from Tropica. It's actually really hard scaping from the back of your tank, so obviously it's more convenient for you guys to see what I'm doing. But believe me when I say, half the time I can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, so now that the aqua soil is nice and at the back of the tank, if ever I want to put stems in, I'm just going to cap it with this coarser sand. So this is something from one of my previous scapes. It's just a mix of a bunch of like very, very small gravel and coarse sand. So it looks kind of natural. It doesn't have like this one monochromatic color. So it is wet because I've actually rinsed it. I've given it a thorough rinse, so that's why it's looking like this. So I've decided that I'm going to add a little bit more in the middle just to kind of bring up the height of the scape a little bit. So the aim here, what I'm really trying to achieve is just like this tree trunk has just like gripped itself over the rocks. So I'm going to really try and place them as close to the rocks as possible. I'm laughing because this window is like where people walk their dogs, and every other day they see me doing stuff like this, and they're just laughing at me. So. Okay, so literally that was not long at all to do that, which is surprising because I really do struggle sometimes with Hardscape. So now is the tedious part, it's just gluing everything together so it doesn't move. So to glue everything together, I'm going to use, it's just standard liquid super glue. I think I buy like a pack of 4 for something like 65 cents at a shop. That's called Action. Maybe you guys have it. It's everywhere in Europe as well. And I'm just using, so this is fast fusion grade. This is a fiber compound, but again, you don't need this. You could use your normal tissue paper, cotton wool, whatever works for you. So recently I've been getting a lot of questions on what kind of glue I use. It has to be cyanoacrylate based. If it's labeled anything else but cyanoacrylate, it's not safe. Because it contains some sorts of solvents. So once super glue is dry, the cyanoacrylate based one, it becomes inert, it becomes a form of plastic. So that's what makes it safe. Okay, so all the gluing is done, everything is nice and secure, it's not going anywhere. There are some glue spots at the front that are actually quite visible. And even though I am going to add a little bit of moss on top, I do want to hide them. So I'm going to crush up some aqua soil, put some super glue on top of the glue spot and just sprinkle it. So then it's just going to hide it, it's going to be less visible. It is looking a lot better now with all the glue spots nice and covered. It really looks nice and clean. So now we can move along to planting. Okay, so let me show you my plant assortment. I have Hygrophila pindophila, so this is one of my favorites. I really do like them. They have like very, very cool details on the leaves. And then I have some Riccardia moss. So not a lot of plants here, but again, very minimal planting style. So the goal here with the Riccardia moss is really to come and highlight some of the very, very cool parts of the hardscape. So it's not to be completely covered, just to highlight it. So that technique is actually called greening. It's just coming and adding very small details where it counts. So I don't know if you guys can see exactly what I'm doing right now. It's just really small highlights on some of the pieces of wood. And we can see like how much it just brings the hardscape, like a touch of color. And I really do like this technique. So you don't really need a lot of plants to do this, or moss even, because you can see like how small the quantities are for such a scape. But it really does add a lot of detail. Okay, so I finished with the Riccardia moss and I really like how it looks. You can see how it really highlights key points of the hardscape, so I'm quite happy with that. Now I'm just gonna glue down the pindophila in the little places and planting will be done. Okay, so we are completely done planting. I'm very happy with it. I think it's the less planted tank I've ever done. And it's just very hardscape heavy, but I'm slowly moving away from heavily planted tanks and really working on my hardscape. So it's been really fun. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place the tank on its little stand. I'm gonna fill it up. If you guys are wondering where this little stand is from, I made it. My woodworking skills are not the best, but I don't think it looks too bad. We are now the next day because somebody forgot to film the outro. So yesterday what I did, I just filled the tank, I fitted the small internal filter. I still have a lot of stuff to do, like light settings, cable management, basic stuff when you set up a tank. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the scape now that the tank is completely filled. So it's only been a day and I can already see like a bunch of fungus already growing on the wood. We can see it like these white fluff on some pieces of the wood, so that is completely normal. Especially like the first few weeks of setting up a tank with a lot of wood, it's bound to happen. So it's really going to go through a very ugly phase in the next couple of weeks, but again, it's normal and it's also part of the process. This tank is also going to be running without CO2, so it's going to take a little while for it to start looking good, so I'm going to have to be quite patient with that. But it's also going to be a very low maintenance tank, and that's something I'm looking forward to because I do have a lot of tanks and I kind of want this one to be very low maintenance and not have to do a lot with it. So guys, as always, thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you next Monday for a new video.